So in front of me here, I have my most recent A. Wright and Son knife purchase. This is a Wright and Son Barlow in a Lambsfoot blade, which is a traditional English blade shape, pretty much. It's like a sheep's foot, but it tapers a little bit at the end. Instead of being, pretty much the same uh, thickness the whole way, the same width the whole way, I guess it would be really. But yeah, so it's pretty much like a modified sheep's foot, but it is a traditional English blade shape. Um, so this is a Wright and Son Barlow in ebony handles here. This side's a little bit less dark than this side. You can see. It does appear that there's a crack there. I didn't even notice that before. So there's a crack there with that pin, but that crack should be fine because it's to the bolster and to the pin, so it shouldn't grow anymore. I may just put some super glue over that at some point, but I didn't notice that earlier. Yeah, so A. Wright and Son made in Sheffield, England. Like I said before, this is a lamb foot, meaning it's this traditional English blade shape here. This is what I'm going to call a sheep's foot blade compared to it. And you can see they're similar but different at the same time. Um, Also, what's interesting is this isn't the same shape as most of these A. Wright Barlows, which I think is interesting because you can see here this one like swoops out here at the bottom. Um, Whereas this one's more of like a like American Barlow kind of shape. Most of the English Barlows are shaped like this, where they like kind of come out here at the end of the handle. Um, Whereas most American Barlows just kind of um, they don't swell out like that. They just like a straight line like this. So this is much more like American Barlow shaped, which is interesting and not something that I realized when I ordered it. Um, but so that's interesting. Knife feels good in your hand, obviously. The action on this knife is pretty good, just like the action on all of these A. Wright Barlows that I've had, all of these A. Wright knives in general that I've had. But yeah, so Arthur Wright and Son Barlow in a sheep's foot blade with ebony handles. I got this over at James and Company on All About Pocket Knives. Um, he sells a lot of these A. Wright knives, and he also has some other stuff. He sells Taylor's Eyewitness knives as well. So if you're looking for, a Sheffield made pocket knife, maybe check out James and Company on allaboutpocketknives.com in the for sale section or whatever. Um, but yeah, knife is pretty well made. Seems. Let me close this blade here. Pretty well made. No huge gaps or anything. Brass liners, brass pins, nickel silver bolsters. Um, Pretty well made. No huge gaps or anything. Blades pretty well centered. It's not perfect, but it's a traditional pocket knife, so I don't really expect it to be absolutely perfect. But it is certainly really good. Um, Handles look good. I do wish this side was a little darker, but they do look good. Apart from that crack there that I didn't notice until I started filming. Um, yeah, so I paid about, I think, $35 or something like that for this, which for a knife this well made is really good money. These Arthur Wright knives, I buy a lot of them, or I have bought a lot of them because there's such a good value, in my opinion. Because they start out at like $35 over there on James Company's store on All About Pocket Knives. And you can get something like my Stag Barlow here for like $60. And then you can get like the rosewood one, which is like the cheapest knife they have, the rosewood handle ones, which are like 35. Something like this might be closer to 40. And then he's got some other like variations, handle materials. There's some with like filed back springs and stuff, which really isn't my thing. But if you're looking for a really fancy pocket knife, maybe it's your thing. And those are more expensive, obviously, because it takes a lot more work to do all that filing on the back spring and everything. Um, but I did want another one of these Lambfoot bladed knives, but I didn't want another like Lambfoot knife, if that makes sense, because the Lambfoot knife is also like kind of a pattern where it's like a sway back handle and a Lambfoot blade. So I decided I wanted one of these Barlow's the Lambfoot knife, and it just so happened that I was checking out his website and he got some new inventory and he had them in ebony wood, so I decided to go ahead and order one. Um, and I'm pretty happy with it. Other than this little crack here in the ebony, which is interesting because usually I feel like ebony is usually one of the woods that doesn't um, crack as much as some of the other wood. But I mean, it's not a huge deal. Like I said, I'll probably just put some super glue over that just so that it doesn't do anything. It shouldn't, because the crack's already at the end of the material on both sides. Like it's gone to the pin and gone to the bolster, so it shouldn't crack anymore. There is always that chance of something weird happening and it just deciding to continue to crack for some reason. So I'll probably just hit it with some super glue and uh, stop that in its tracks and everything. Not the end of the world to me for a knife that's like $40. Um, but yeah, so Arthur Wright and Son Lambfoot Barlow. I really like the Arthur Wright and Son knives. Been carrying this one for almost a month now. This Stag Barlow with what I'm calling a sheep's foot blade, and it's a fantastic knife. Um, this one also seems like it would be a fantastic knife, but I have not carried it yet because, as you guys know, I do like to do these videos before I start to use the knife, before I start to carry the knife, so that you guys can see what it looks like right out of the box. But anyway, that's going to be the video on this A. Wright and Son Lambfoot Barlow here. Pretty decent little knife for the price, especially. And if you're looking for a affordable, well-made pocket knife that's not going to, bankrupt you, and you can easily get it, unlike a lot of Great Eastern Cutlery knives, which are a lot harder to get. And you can trust that the knife is going to be well made enough that you can use it and everything. Uh, like I said, check out James and Company over there on allaboutpocketknives.com. If you live in the USA, he is a dealer for A. Wright and Son, I think. He certainly has a lot of them. So go over there, see what he has if you're interested in these A. Wright and Son knives. I definitely recommend them because they're pretty well made especially for the price that they are. And like I said, I've been carrying one for almost a month. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video on this A. Wright and Son Lambfoot Barlow. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.